Hello Flosstube, my name is Ria and I am the Blue Coast Stitcher and welcome to my channel. Today it is Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025 and this is Flosstube number 23. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are viewing one of my floss tubes, this is the first one you've ever seen from me, welcome to my cozy, quiet little corner of the floss tube world. I talk about things, mostly cross-stitching, a little bit of life updates, and books. I'm going to have some books today. Well, I'll save that for the end, so if you're not interested, you can move on. Anyways, so I'm hoping the lighting's okay. I've had to close my curtains because there was no natural light. It's just one of those December gray days here in Ontario, Southern Ontario, Canada. And I've got the overhead lights or pot lights and I don't have control of how bright or dim they go. So we'll see. Grab a beverage of your choice. Maybe you want to do some stitching while following along with my adventures, or you just want to sit and chat and see what it is that I have been up to. You're more than welcome to. It is tea. I got a couple of holiday teas from a store close to me here in Petroleum. I live just outside of Sarnia, and Amanda and I were in Petroleum. We found a nice little tea shop. I cannot remember the name of it. But anyways, the tea I am drinking is Holiday Winter Spice by M21. It's a Canadian, come on. There we go. Canadian company. And it has black tea, apple, cinnamon, clove, ginger, and natural flavors. And it's actually quite good. Their tea bags are not plastic, so a lot of the tea bags will have microplastics in them. I'm a holistic nutritionist. I know these, I follow these things, right? And microplastics are such a huge problem. So I was happy to find a tea brand. I have loose leaf tea that I put in these special paper bags, tea bags, but it's nice to find a tea brand that makes bag tea, which is good for travel, that has no plastics in it. It's completely plant-based and they're a Canadian company. They also have, I picked up a Christmas herbal tea, caffeine-free. For the evenings, it's the Nutcracker tea. It's quite lovely. It's got rooibos in it, moringa, cranberry, osmanthus. I have to look what that up is. But it's quite good. I've had one cup from that. There's 24 bags, so it's perfect for the month of December. So that's what that is. Okay, life update. Last time was life update. I had just gotten back from Stitch North with Jeanette Douglas and I had a wee bit of let's see. While it is December, we're into the holiday season. We put up our tree, our holiday tree this past weekend. And probably, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen me share it because the cats just love my holiday tree, especially Artemis. Artemis is the traditional tortie, and then we have Athena. She's long-haired muted tortie, and they both love the tree, but Artemis, she goes in it. She can't stay out of it. But Artemis got sick this weekend. We're not sure if it was a virus or she ate something or the stress of the house being upside down and inside out for holiday decorating, which has never really caused her digestive upset before. Both my cats are a rescue, and Artemis was born to a feral mom in a woodpile next to a parking garage somewhere in Kitchener. We originally were in the Kitchener-Waterloo area and we got her from the Kitchener Stray Cat Rescue organization just before Christmas 2021. So she's always maintained that bit of a feral nature. Sweet, 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 gentle soul, but very, very skittish. And if she senses the slightest energetic change in the room, she will bolt. So the annual vet visit is always an adventure because she knows something's up, and we have to shut the doors, close the door to the furnace room where their litter is, and that's where she hides. We say she's always looking for a wood pile. So she goes under the stairs. Well, that's where all the Christmas decor is. So we had to remove everything from under the stairs to get to the Christmas decor, and it takes, we don't want to rush it, so it takes a couple of days. All came out Saturday morning, and then we put it back. We put it back Sunday afternoon as we just finished the last little touches. But we noticed Saturday morning, if you follow me on Instagram, I shared, because I got this little plastic fun novelty thing that says cat vomit, little yellow sign. It's about this big. Because cats throw up, right? And it was always a joke, right? And so I kind of put it next to the Bissell. And it was just a little throw up by the furnace room door. Where their litter is, we have a cat door in the wall. We call it the portal. And we just assumed at the time they were roughhousing right after they ate and somebody had a bloop. We didn't think anything of it. And then later that day I went into my craft studio and there's this massive throw up. Artemis will throw up in my craft studio. Athena, she likes to make a statement. So she'll throw up, like the other day, she had a hairball and she threw it up here in the office, where you literally walk in and there it is, presenting itself to you, saying, look what I did, clean it up. So we weren't sure. And then we noticed she had diarrhea Saturday night, Sunday morning. Athena's had litter issues, so we have a camera monitoring to making sure she's using the litter on a regular basis. So joys of having rescued cats, they carry emotional baggage. Thank you to my fellow human beings that have created emotional baggage in my cats. Anyways, we noticed Artemis had really bad diarrhea. At least she used the litter. And Sunday, she just didn't feel herself. She was upset. She was very agitated and crying. We just assumed that it was because the under the stairs wasn't ready for her. It was completely cleared and there was no boxes. Her wood pile was gone. But it didn't seem right. And we noticed she had diarrhea the night before, and then she threw up a little bit, so it was okay. So she went under our bed and she just basically slept most of the day. She just was really off. Sunday night, we noticed she had more diarrhea. And then, what's today? Today's Wednesday. Monday, I was working in my office and I was listening to a lecture of a course I'm trying to finish up. It's like, is that Artemis? Because Artemis has damaged vocal cords. So she doesn't meow or make any noises like a typical cat. Her vocal cords were damaged. They figure when she was a really tiny neonate kitten that she might have gotten a cold. And sometimes she opens her mouth and nothing comes out, and sometimes very slight squeaky noises. But we could hear, it's like, okay, that's a distress sound from her. It's hard to explain. And I walked into the living room, and Athena's the mama cat. She's not her mother, but she's taken on that role. And she's looking very concerned and worried. Artemis is nowhere to be found. And then Amanda yells, Mom, she threw up in your studio again. So there was a little one and a big one, so yes. And then a little bit more diarrhea. But she is feeling much better today. She's sleeping. I've had to wash my Christmas tree skirt, the skirt that goes underneath my holiday tree. There was a little bit of a bile throw up on it, so it's washable. That's the whole reason I got it, because the cats sleep on it. So it's in the dryer. I cleaned the litters today. It's freaking cold, froze my fingers off. Just in case it's a virus, I just wanted to give it a good clean, disinfectant. Plus she had the diarrhea. We have 2 litter boxes, and she's the cat that she pees on the wall. Like, we have the covered litter boxes, otherwise, because don't ask. So she's feeling better. No vet visit required. My gut feeling, it was some kind of virus. Where she got it, I don't know. She's an indoor cat strictly. Athena's the one that goes outside in the backyard. So it's possible Athena picked up something in the backyard and brought it in the house, right? I don't know. But Athena's fine. Athena's usually the one that, if there's going to be digestive upset, it's her. Artemis is usually the stronger, healthier one for some reason. But anyway, she's feeling better. My holiday shopping's pretty much done. Amanda and I went to Bayfield. It's a cute village, about an hour north of here. And we spent the day, had a really good day. Stuff, of course, is on order. I try to shop local as much as possible. But of course, there's this odds and ends. Amanda loves collecting vintage, like if she can get it, original print, original text, Nancy Drew and Hardy Boy books. They're hard to find, so that's on eBay. So some of the books I ordered for her from eBay are on their way. Some we'll see. We try to stick with Canadian. There's a little hassle now with customs and everything going on. Yeah, and then Laura comes home 2 weeks from today. She's decided she's coming home this Christmas because next Christmas she will probably 99% sure unable to come home for Christmas. Her contract with the research facility that she works is coming to an end. It's a postdoc, so she's got her PhD and then she's doing her postdoc, and it's a particle accelerator research facility where she studies meteorites. But you know, that's basically what it is. And the beam is going into maintenance mode, and that's about 18 months. So she's collecting data and she's processing it. She's not sure if they will have a space for her while the beam is down for research. So it's kind of up in limbo. She's keeping her options open. Because she's in the space sciences field, there's really nothing here for her here in Canada. Stephen Harper and the Conservative government years ago did some severe slash and burn to the Canadian Space Agency. So she most likely will end up with something in Europe. Another possibility is Japan. Japan really likes young people as their population is declining to come over, and they have a really good reputation with the Japanese Space Agency. So she could be there. There's a greater chance she'll be somewhere in Europe. Could be Germany, could be Spain, could be the Netherlands. I'm Dutch, so part of me is like, oh, it'd be cool if she's in the Netherlands. She'll, you know, be back in the homeland, from my side of the family at least. So we'll see. So this is her final Christmas. She's coming before she knows what's happening in a year. And then Daniel and Kate are coming home probably just before Christmas. They're gonna go visit her family for a few days. Usually it's Christmas Day, Boxing Day. So we'll probably do Christmas Eve. Then they head out to see her family Christmas Day and Boxing Day. And then they come back either at the end of Boxing Day or come home the next day. They live in Kingston, so it's a bit of a hike. So they're gonna come down here, and they gotta make the most of the drive because it's a long drive, especially this time of year when the weather is unpredictable. A lot of areas of the province down here have had some pretty nasty snowy weather. And of course, even though we're all Canadian, it seems when the first round of snow hits, there's a lot of drivers that forget driving in winter, even though it's something that's ingrained in us. If you're born and raised in Canada, driving in the winter is ingrained in you from the moment you get your license. You're beginners. But anyways, so there's been a few messes on the road and road closures. Down here, we're pretty green. We live in a bubble. When you're in the extreme southwest like we are, the streamers off the lake tend to be further north than here. I could probably go halfway between here and Grand Bend. I'll probably run into a fair bit of snow. Right now we just have a dusting, but it's freaking cold. And when I was cleaning the litters, I froze my fingers off. I used the hose from the garage that has hot water, but still cold. So that's going on. I'm gonna start prepping food. Eggnog. I'll probably make, well, after Laura comes home, we'll probably make some eggnog. Laura likes eggnog. turkeys in the freezer. We have duck in the freezer. I can't eat any of those, but so I got a prime rib. That's my treat for the holidays, is a rib roast from the butcher. We have a nice, beautiful butcher in Petrolia, and I got a prime rib roast, so that'll be fun. Yeah, and then I have some books that I've read and one that I'm currently reading that I will share with you at the end. So now we're 15 minutes into this recording. Let's see if we can get into some WIPs, some plans, and then I think that's it. Oh, I might talk about some Flosstubers that I've watched. Flossmas has started, so I'm not the one you want to watch for Flossmas. I don't do Flossmas, but I have watched some Flossmas videos. I did not write down what I was watching, but I have my laptop here, and YouTube, wonderful YouTube, keeps track of what it is that I am watching. So I will rattle some names off and then put them in the description box below. I think that'll work. I just realized I forgot to tell you the Flossmas videos that I've been watching, the YouTubers. So, of course, Jacob, Modern Folk Embroidery, he is doing holiday countdown floss tubes every day. Caroline, Off the Grid Needle Arts Flosstube channel, she's doing also a daily Flossmas video for the holiday countdown as well. So those two. Crafting Emily, she's out of England. She's doing it, and I just watched a couple of her videos today. Mama Loves You GB, she started Flossmas as well, and I've watched a couple of her videos. Who else? Forest City Stitching, she's doing it. She's doing quick ones. She's also doing the holiday countdown, so it's kind of fun to see. So she's doing that, Forest City Stitching. Lisa, another Canadian Flosstuber out of London, Ontario. And then, oh, the Runner Stitcher. He's doing Flossmas. I love his stuff. Andrew, the Runner Stitcher. And then the final one I've been watching, I've got to remember how you say it. It's Tea with, oh, where is it? See, I usually Stitching and Tea with B. And she's also doing the holiday countdown, and she's also doing tea advent, and she's got this really neat tea brewers diffusers. Just go watch her channel, link it below. Stitching and Tea with B. I was really enjoying it. She's doing a Flossmas. It's her first time doing it, and she's doing really well. So far, I've seen 2 of her videos come up. Today is day 3, so I don't know if she's posted one yet. But yeah, so those. I will post everybody below. Those are the Flossmas videos that I have watched so far. I am sure there will be more, depending on how much time I'm able to watch Flossmas. And Caroline posts hers pretty early in the morning, so anyways, back to the rest of this floss tube. Take care. All right, so let's start off with WIPs. So life's been busy. I don't get to stitch every single night. There's just stuff going on. Last night I did a bit of stitching, but we got our flu shot yesterday morning at the doctor's office, and I was feeling kind of tired and achy, so I did some stitching, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to that. Yeah. Okay, so let's get to the WIPs. I have some notes here. First off, my sampler September start. I just kind of kept going into November. So that would be from Evertote, Roxy Flossco, and of course everybody's friend Ellen from Maximum Cross Stitch. And it is Jane Wood 1853. I am working on this. I also got fabric and enough thread to do the not so tiny small. Just a second here. Sorry, I have something on the floor I have to pick up and it's bothering me. So, oops, this is, make sure I've got it right side up. It's on my scroll rods. I don't know when I'll pick it up. I should remove the needle minder, but let me show you how far I have gotten. So I started with the house. It is a fine house. It is a glorious house. It is on 40 count speculas with the called for Roxy Floss Co. thread. It's stunning. It's a beautiful piece. Cardamom Pins is doing the stitch along for this. I know she's been busy too with her. She's a musician, so she's been busy with things. But I should check. I haven't checked to see how far she is, so we'll see. I think she was planning to have it finished by the end of this year, 2025, or maybe it was early 2026. Everybody seems to know who Cardamom Pins is. You can find her on Flosstube and Instagram, and she shares what she's doing. So, excuse me, I have a bit of a dry throat. The second one was one of the ones that I started for one of my 24 starts in 2024, which was last year. It's from Shakespeare's Peddler. Pennsylvania Christmas Deer. It's small. I worked on it at Stitch North in October. I got some foam board, but I do not iron. Sorry. So this is Shakespeare's Peddler, and then I'm using, because I bought it at one of the Stitch Norths. Don't ask me which one, and they started it last year. It's on, I don't do Ada, but somebody told me it's either 18 or 20 count. I think it's Candy Apple. The Roxy Floss that they use is called Legendary. And I'm really enjoying it. See how it's focusing. Yes, I do not iron. If you do not like unironed pieces, I am not the floss tuber for you. But you get the gist. It was a bit in my nerd. So there's that. I'm loving it. I might work on it. It's small, so you can just kind of pick it up. But there's also the holiday countdown, which I'll get to in a minute. I'm really enjoying it. 18 or 20 count Ada. I can't remember. Candy Apple. But I love it. It's gorgeous. So now, next. I'm hoping, let me put my tea aside because this will be awkward because it's on scroll rods that I just took it off my my Hearth Side Mark II floor frame. So if you watched my previous Flosstube, I came back from Stitch North with Jeanette Douglas, was the guest designer. And I bought a lot of Jeanette Douglas patterns, and this was one of them, Vintage Flowers 2, with the Roxy Floss Co. floss conversion, and then I can't remember the name of the fabric. They have two kinds that are very similar. One is cappuccino, and the other one, I have to look it up. I love my laptop right here. Shop fabric linen. So Ellen was working on this at Stitch North end of October. If you watch, is it available? I'm on the Patreon of Evertote, and they did a special with Ellen, and they were showing her progress on it, and she's passed the project on to Irish coffee or caramel latte. I think it's Irish coffee that Ellen is stitching this on with the Roxy Floss Co. floss conversion. I decided to go for something very different and just, whoops, in terms of fabric. And I'm I'm hoping in person it looks really good. But I'm finding that, excuse me, sorry, the camera on my phone is not picking up the colors on the fabric as well as I would like to. So I decided to try it on, and I posted also on Instagram, but I didn't tell them what I was working on. I'm going to share this on Instagram if I can get a decent photo. Today's not the day for natural light. 36 count allure using the Roxy Floss Co. floss conversion thread 1/2. I tried 2/2 thinking if it would give more depth to the floss because allure is such a dark color, but I just wasn't liking the 2/2 on 36 count. So I switched to 1/2 and I am liking it. And so far so good. It was either you're gonna absolutely hate it and throw it out the window and begin again with the proper fabric, or I'm gonna like it. So I'm gonna show you. See if you like it. See if the camera picks it up. Like I said, the lighting, it's the overhead pot lights isn't helping. It's casting quite the, and I put this, because as soon as I remove this, something about this fabric, if there's not something solid behind it, the stuff doesn't show, and the camera's not, oh my goodness. Anyways, it does look good. I just started, instead of just going cross, I did one of these, then the alphabet, and then this. And of course, I can't get, it looks better in person than it does on this. I will tell you that, okay? It is showing. And part of it is the overhead light. And does that help? Oh, good Lord. The modeling is wonderful. I am enjoying it. Like I said, it's the lighting, and the camera doesn't quite allow to pick up the depth of everything, but it is working. I gotta figure out the camera, how to get it to show that it is working. It looks good. I think the darkness of the allure fabric is throwing off the light meter on my iPhone. And so, because when you see it like this, like, it looks like it's all disappearing, but it's not. It's not. Anyways, that's my frustration with this, but anyway. I am happy with it so far. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. It was me stepping out of my comfort zone and playing around, and that's what creativity is. You're just playing around with things. So yeah, we'll see what it looks like at the end. I'm happy with it so far. So it's very different. Excuse me, I'm trying not to break anything. Very much not what I'm sure Jeanette envisioned, but it's fun. It's something different. I'm enjoying it. Will I have to tweak some of the colors? I might. I don't know. There's some pieces that I don't know. We're gonna find out. It's an experiment. I am stretching my creative muscles and seeing what comes up. So next is the holiday countdown with Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery, Roxy Floss Co, and Evertote. It is, because it's December 3rd, it's day 3. I am not the cross stitcher that you want to follow if you want to see this piece being stitched in real time. I am a slow stitcher. Some nights I just, after work, I don't have the energy to stitch lately. It's just been busy. Life is life, but it's all good. So it is day 3 and I haven't finished day 1 yet. Yay me! So I am thrilled with it. I stitch according to my own time and how I enjoy. And there's a story why I'm still on day 1. So anyways, the holiday countdown for 2025, if you watch, there's a lot of people working on it. Caroline is sharing her Flosstube Flossmas stuff on her Off the Grid YouTube channel, not the regular Evertote, but the what's it called? Friday Off the Grid Needle Arts YouTube channel is what she is sharing her progress. So every day, day 1, day 2, today's day 3. I have not watched day 3 yet, and she's keeping up because she has to. It's her job, literally. Jacob is also doing daily videos. The first one was talking about what he's up to, you know, the design and what to expect from him. Yesterday, he, if you're a fan of Lorena McKennett's music, he shared music of his rendition of her song Bonnie Portmore. I love Lorena McKennett. She lives not too far from me here, actually. She's, yeah, and she plays a lot in Stratford. I think she's in the Stratford area. I know she has a place along the shores of Lake Huron, north of here towards, is it Grand Bend, Goderich, in that direction, I think. She had a tragedy where she lost her partner in Lake Huron years ago. It's pretty devastating. But I love her music. It's so, and she stepped away from music for quite a few years because of the grieving process. It really sucked the wind out of her sails. But she's been back. But Bonnie Portmore is one of her original songs. So he did a rendition, his rendition. He's got such an amazing voice, and the way he arranged the music and recorded it is just so soothing, so comforting. And as a Lorena McKennett fan, I loved listening to his rendition. It was beautiful. So anyways, that is this. And then we have, they're doing things a bit differently. So normally, I'm gonna ramble here. I'm good at rambling. When it comes to these mystery stitch alongs, so you get, so right now there's 3 cards because it's day 3. So there's 25 paper bags that each have the card and has the stitching for the day. There's Athena at the door. I'm gonna ignore her. Oh my God, I can't ignore that face. Give me 1 second. Yes, I'm a sucker. Hello, Miss Athena. Do you want to come in? The curtains are closed though. Come on. I gotta shut the door because I got the dehydrator going. Are you in or out? No? She has chosen to, she doesn't want to come in. I think she wants cuddles. She needs reassurance. Rescue. She has abandonment issues. Anyways, when it comes to, so you got 20, sorry, I'm really rambling here. 25 envelopes for every day of between December 1st and Christmas Day. They have a section. I can't show you the pattern. So they break it up in sections. So day 1, you get a floss. This is what you're gonna stitch with said floss. Day 2, you get another skein of floss. This is what, and then the pattern shows where you're gonna stitch, and it builds onto itself. I am someone that normally needs to see the pattern in its entirety so that I know what is expected of me upon the finishing the project. Helps me strategize for myself. Okay, if I start here, then I can go here. If I start in the center, that's, you know, depending on the pattern. Like some patterns, like a center starts really good. Okay, I can do this, I can do that. I can break it down. This one, you're assigned a section, stitch it. Assign another section, stitch it. I said this on Instagram. Usually I get about to day 5, day 6. It's like, okay, I can't do this. And I just open on the envelopes, organize the floss, because in the book you have a floss key. I make a working copy, so I haven't written down on this, but my working copy's in my stitchy chair. So there's the floss key, right? And then you write down. So, and then I make a working copy of the pattern in its entirety because it just builds, so you get the whole pattern. You start to see it take shape. So it's not like you're just seeing the section you're working on. You're seeing the section you're working on and any other previous sections that you stitched together on the pattern of the day. Anyways, Jacob has some amazing things. So every card's a little different. This one is image on reverse, is air from a series on the 4 elements from the studio of Philips Gallet, Antwerp, Belgium, from the collection of the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. And then this one is a rooster. It's like and that's by Johan Neumann, also from the Rijksmuseum. And then this, Jacob has an extensive antique sampler collection. And there's another rooster. So there's a theme. There's a theme. There's hints to what's going on with this pattern. And this is from Marcia, Mina, or Maria. So Marcia is Dutch, and then Mina or Maria. So Mina. So it could be any of those. Van Melestein, 1908. So this is in his personal collection. So I don't even have day 1 finished. This is day 1. Day 1, the floss was marble. Such a beautiful variegated turquoisey light blue. So day 1, December 1st. I was worried about Artemis. It was the end of a long day. It was a Monday. Rhea forgot how to read a pattern. Been stitching for how long? You see this, you can see, and then it's going to go like this. If you watch, you've probably seen it, right? Oh, and this is the needle minder, which gives a hint of what's to come. My guess is with the rooster. And then, sorry, I should also share this. I'm all over the place today. Christmas ornament. There we go. Oh, that is gorgeous. Put that on my tree. My guess is we're going to see more of these bright, happy colors. It's going to be colorful. Birds are going to be involved because I'm sensing a theme here. So anyways, Rhea forgot to read a pattern Monday night. So you see this goes around. You get the gist. And it's, go for close. You see, it's like every other square. So you're not stitching the crosses against each other. They're kind of spread out because day 2 sees the day. If you watch Caroline, you'll see that is going to be stitched in between here. I stitching away and went, well, this pattern's not that big. And I realized I got to about here one day. I went, and I started looking at the pattern and went, are you kidding me? Insert other words. And so I had to take everything out back to my starting point, which I left it here. I am stitching on 32 count vanilla custard. So 2 over 2. So I take everything out and I just, and then stitched properly. So far I'm on the track where my borders will meet, and then because last night I had the flu shot, so I took it all apart. Day 1, and then got a little, and then day 2, even though I wasn't feeling well, I did get to that point. I am feeling much better this morning. I just had a really good night's sleep. So this will be stitched to fill in the gaps. And then day 3 is brine. And there's going to be some elements. There's going to be something up here, and then here we go. So you got something like here, here, and here. Follow Caroline. I am not the one to follow for this. So that is my story of holiday countdowns off to a rough start for Rhea. She's back on track. My start along, I don't stitch along because I'm still on day 1 on day 3. That's the way it is. So anyways, okay, that's it. Haul. Okay, not too much. I got something from Traditional Stitches, which is out west. They're out in Alberta. That's my receipt. So they're out in Calgary, actually. Not it. And a couple things. Through them, I signed up for the Jeanette Douglas Seasons in the Garden and Cottage Garden Samplings A Year in the Woods Part 2. So that arrived was Jeanette Douglas Winter, and I'm stitching this on 40 count, and this is where plans, I'm going to talk about plans, this kind of ties in together. 40 count Moonstone fiber on a web. I have yet to start it, but I'm collecting. I'm a good collector. So anyways, Seasons in the Garden, winter came. So we have summer, autumn, winter, spring will round out, and we get, the floss and beads, because Jeanette, if you know Jeanette, you know Jeanette. She uses different kinds. This has like Gloriana, Dinky Dyes. She uses a variety of threads. She doesn't stick to one floss company to her pattern. So anyways, I have that, and that'll fall into my plans, which we will discuss later, of 2026. This is number 5 of, I believe there's going to be 12 total. So I've got 5 now. And this one, of course, appropriately, because Cottage Garden Samplings is an American company, so November was American Thanksgiving. The turkey, gobble, gobble, gobble. Call for floss, which is DMC and Classic Colorworks. Traditional Stitches always packages. I think there's something back ordered on this. Not for this one. Okay. Anyways. And each one has their own 40 count legacy from Picture This Plus Newcastle linen. Let me take it out of the paper bag. It's beautiful modeling. So again, part of my plans for 2026. And then I splurged. This was back end of October, beginning of November. I have seen this project done by a number of people. It's a biggie. I am typically a big go big or go home kind of girl. I have admired it for a very long time. Seeing on Flosstube people that have finished it or currently working on this particular project. My guess is it's one of these projects that will never, ever go away. I think it's one of those projects that's going to be a classic in the cross-stitch world. And that is from Heartstring Sampler, Consider the Lilies. I have admired this for so long. It is stunning. It's a biggie, but I have it. It was, you could consider it one of my unicorn charts, and I decided to splurge and get it. The fabric I chose, this is all from Traditional Stitches, is 32 count Winter Brew by R&R Reproductions. It's a big piece. It's 36 by 27. Obviously, I'll be stitching 2/2. And the called floor floss. I got a lot here, and there's some on back order. So we've got Weeks Dye Works, Gentle Arts, and Simply Shaker. I'm not going to hold them all up. There's a lot of them. There's a lot. So some are on back order. Yeah, this is the list of the threads. So yeah, Classic Color Works, Gentle Arts, and Week Dye Works. So that is a unicorn pattern for me. I'm excited to possibly start it at some point. I don't know when, but I have it in my stash, and I'm very happy to have it in my stash. And I'm looking forward to the back ordered threads to find their way from Alberta to Ontario. Oh, something's going on here with my laptop there. So I'll just put that in there, that in there. Okay. Next is Yasmin's Made with Love. Roxy Fosco Evertoe do carry some of her offerings. So I went online and decided to order her mystery Christmas holiday mystery bag, and then picked up 2 other things to go with it. So I'll share what the 2 other things were before I share what was in the mystery bag. Athena. She is so honeyed. No. No, no, no. I can't put you on the cat tree to look out. No. You want cuddles? Do you want cuddles? Or will you behave and go to sleep if I put you on the chair beside me? Oh, there's a purr. Here's Athena. She's making her appearance. Okay, you're getting tangled in my necklace. Do I have to pause the video so you have your cuddles? Do I have to pause? I know. Sweetheart. She's purring. We pause for this cuddle break. All right. Have we reached maximum cuddleness? And I got fur up my nose. Oh, guys, a long haired cat. Oh. Are you done? Okay. Fur up my nose like crazy. All right, it's getting late. I got things to do, cat. I don't know. Hopefully she's not getting sick. She's very clingy. Anyways, Yasmin Made with Love. I ordered the Christmas mystery box and ordered 2 more things. I got, cat snips. I thought they were cute. I got the red ones. They're cute. Oh my goodness. We'll see what they're like. Gently rub with a cloth prior to use. I haven't done that yet. And then I ordered Bird Tree. I just love the colors. The model is stitched with 32 count tea stains, linen by Fabric Flair, but stitched with the Roxy Fosco. And then there's a DMC conversion as well. And she tells you how many skeins, which is less than a skein per color. Kit that up at some point in the future. I don't know what my cat's doing. So now we got the mystery box. Sorry if there is noises in your earbuds, headphones. A cup of tea, joy. I love stash tea. Oh, puka tea, sorry. Puka. I've gotten there before. They're beautiful teas. A blend of lemony herbs with a twist of orange. Very appropriate. And then another pair of cat snips. I love scissors. So anyways, this one's an orange, which is just as good for me. And then she had these wonderful paper bags. All right. Thread gloss and gingerbread latte. And then, what was in here? A needle minder that she does gorgeous painting. She's done boxes and other things as well. If you go to Yasmin with Love, put a needle minder. Isn't that gorgeous? Ada in this beautiful blue with a little needle stuck in. And then Coffee Lover and Tea Drinker is the pattern. I can't, there's no, excuse me. There we go. There's no picture of the completed pattern that came with it. DMC. This is the DMC thing. Now Athena wants out. Just a second. Sorry. This is real life in this house. Off you go. It's looking really dark and heavy out there, isn't it? I got cat hair everywhere. Okay. So, got the DNC. I can't show you the pattern. So it's called Coffee Lover and Tea Drinker. So I will do the Tea Drinker one. Basically, it's a gnome drinking either the coffee or the tea. And that's all I'm gonna say. Oops. So it's on this thread. You stitch it, it goes like this. Hey, 1 second. Amanda's home. And then this is the thread. And my daughter is making a grand entrance. This gives you an idea of what it's gonna look like. Gnomes with Christmas baubles, drinking tea and coffee. And it's Ada. I think it's an 18 count. It's not, is it listed on here? 121 by 74 stitches, DMC with back stitch. It doesn't say. And then of course a tutorial on beginners. And then, yeah. Oh, and 2 charms. Where did the charms go? That were literally, there's a little baggie of charms. I just saw them. There's 2 little charms. There they are. They're hiding. It looks like a coffee bean. Little buttons. Coffee bean and a donut. And then she threw in some extra charts, 2 extra charts. The first one is X is for Christmas Duo. So if you know Yasmin with Love, she's been doing like M is for Mushroom. Evertote carries a couple of them anyways. This is it with the Roxy Floss Co. names. And it was charted for 16 count Ada smooth sailing. So I assume this is 16 count as well. But smooth sailing is the dark blue with the Roxy Floss Co. And it's 102 by 120. And the second piece is Christmas Village. Ooh, that's beautiful. I won't take it out of the sleeve though. And that was charted in Roxy Floss Co. with DMC conversion, but the model was stitched on 32 count Murano, even weave, splash mint. So it's a very soft minty color. All right. That looks like it's going to be so much fun. I think I'll be happy now Amanda's home. That's who you heard Amanda go, "Hey, I'm home." She was doing some archive work at the museum. Oh, and then I got a thank you for the order. And then there's like, it's a pattern for a cardinal, a free pattern. I'm not going to show it to you, but it's on the back of this. And it's charted in DMC, which is nice. So the final piece of haul is, if you follow Jacob and Evertote, etc., you know this is his stitch along for 2026. Start along for me. I'm still not done the Baldequin birds from the beginning of 2025. And then this is one of the bags I picked up from Simply Stitched at Stitch North end of October. So I'm on Jacob's Patreon, and when he showed this, it's just like, I have to have it. Anything Jacob has, his stitching, his patterns are so calming and soothing. And with the way things are in the world, 2020s, the decade of the 2020s has been a lot of upheaval. I do tarot, and I liken it to the Tower card. And if you know the tarot decks, cards, the Tower is it's a tower crumbling down. It's very visceral. Basically, it's everything's being shaken up, and it's like the rug's being ripped out on you, underneath you. There's a lot of reorganization of systems in order to build a better and stronger foundation for the future. But it just feels like everything's shaking and falling apart, and it can be quite overwhelming at times. So something about Jacob's patterns I find incredibly soothing and calming, just like his music. And he's a very calming, soothing person. The way he speaks, his mannerisms as well. So anyways, this is his stitch along Little Acorns. It has large streams from little fountains flow, tall oaks from little acorns grow. And that is based on, it said, it is easy to feel powerless in a time when the world is facing wars, when politicians use the language of hate and divisiveness, and when we let ourselves be separated by that. I know that little old me can't do much to change big things on an international level, but I was inspired by the words of a poem I found while researching large streams from little fountains flow, tall oaks from little oaks grow. These simple but aspiring words were taken from a poem written by David Everett and published in Caleb Benham's 1797 anthology, The Columbian Orator. As soon as I read them, I knew I wanted them to be a part of the design. So, and I said on Patreon, I said, reminds me, it's that old Greek proverb. How does it go? Wise men plant trees whose shade they never will enjoy. It's an old, a society grows great. It's from Greek. It's an old Greek proverb. A society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shade they know they shall never sit. And there seems to be a lot of politicians who want to tear down trees instead of plant trees, who are not thinking of future generations, but thinking of them and their billionaire friends. And regardless of whose lives they rip apart, whose psychological and physical harm they are causing to others. And they may scream for the children, but they're anything but for the children, because what they are doing is ripping families apart, harming children, harming everybody, and creating a society which will not grow great, but will grow weak. that is my little spiel. But anyways, and I was talking to a girlfriend. I said, we may not be able to affect things on an international level, but sometimes creating something you want directly in your home ripples out into your community, which ripples out into other communities, which ripples out into the country, into the world. And even Jacobs, you know, he talks about he doesn't feel he can do much internationally, but it's the little things. And it's like a ripple effect that you drop a small pebble in the water and it ripples out. And a little bit of love and kindness goes a long way. And we choose what we want to create, what kind of world we want to live in. And this pattern kind of speaks to me about that. The little things. Anyways, I picked 32 count Spanky Loss. It's gonna be a biggie. And I am doing this full length. He charted it, I think, because you can also do it. He charted it as like you can break it up in half, where I think he had like this half, one side, this half, the other. And then the book, he's broken it down into 11 monthly parts. I'm not going to stitch it that way. That's not how I roll. I'll either start, because he's talking about doing, it's not going to show, the outline first and then section by section. I will probably just start stitching either on the top or the center. And Fallow Red. I love the reds. Sometimes I do Fallow Red. I have another project of his, I cannot remember the name of it, that the thread I'm doing, which is a darker, more richer wine red. I think it's Merlot. Yeah, I think it is. It's the Winter Kaleidoscope is in Merlot. Okay, last thing. Plans. So we are in December. December's a busy month. Laura's coming home. Christmas, food, drink, be merry. For me, Yule. It's the dark, cold season. I like things a little more calmer, going inward, as such as the season calls for. So we're planning to keep things low key for the holidays. Laura's coming home. Daniel and Kate's coming home. New Year's Eve, we stick close to home. We play games. I'll make some oliebollen. Daniel and Kate probably go back that weekend, and then the first Monday of January, Laura, we have to take her back to Toronto. So I'm gonna try and get beyond day one of the holiday countdown tonight. Gotta go to bed early because I gotta get up early. Dave and I have to take his parents to get their flu shots, and I decided to help him. It's a bit of a juggling act, and his dad's had some not so good days recently. He's got Parkinson's, and his Parkinson's affects his mental faculties. And so I'm going there as extra support to help. He'll drop me off with his parents to get them to the clinic, and then he'll park the car and meet us. And then baking, cooking, cocooning, going in. And just, yeah, focusing on what it is that I want to create in the world. It's easy to get overwhelmed by everything going on beyond, especially with social media. So 2026, and I am doing that also the latter half of this year. Wanting to be aware of what is going on in Nodule, calling out injustices as I see them without allowing them to overwhelm and swamp me and create physical and mental health issues. So focusing on what is it that I want to create. And then it comes to cross stitch. What I want to create in my business, in my career. I've been kind of recalibrating some things this fall as well. Been busy with work, but also recalibrating things. And then with the cross stitch. So do you want to see a WIP parade? I have 49 WIPs, I believe. if I do film a WIP parade, it probably won't happen until January sometime, just because I will be spending time with the family. This is where we cocoon with the family for 2 weeks over the holidays between December 25th and January 4th. And then you got to get back into the work routine and everything. And then when it comes to my stitchy plants, I was musing and mulling. I have 49 WIPs. I have quite a few kitted up projects. I did buy recently my unicorn, Consider the Lilies. There's the other one that goes with it. It might become my next unicorn, I don't know. And it kind of popped into me as I'm trying to fix what I messed up with day one on my holiday countdown last night. I want to focus on what I have. It's not to say, like, I have the cottage garden samplings. You're in the Woods. I have one more of the garden series of Jeanette Douglas coming in that I've ordered, that I'm part of, I'm committed to. There's the Floss Club ABC Evertote Roxy Floss Club. So that comes out every couple months along with the Fabric Club and the Project Bag Club, which I'm going to continue with those. But I want to focus on what I have. And I was trying to think, well, it's 2026. Like, there was 24 starts in 2024. 2025, I didn't really think of anything. So I thought, stitch like it's the zombie apocalypse in 2026. I don't know how you think of that. Because I always joke, I have enough projects that if there ever was a zombie apocalypse and I had to hunker down for the next 50 years, if I lived to be over 100, I'd be fine. So my sense of humor came through with stitch like it's the zombie apocalypse in 2026. So my focus is going to be on stitching what I have. Like I said, I am committed to the Cottage Garden Samplings Club once a month, so 5 of 12. So I've got 7 more. Number 6 was released. It's the cardinal. I love cardinals. There's been a lot of cardinals in my life lately, which is a good thing. If you know, you know. And we have some expenses coming up. We're going away in end of May, June, taking our girls on a cruise to celebrate their accomplishments. Again, it's the little things, right? So, well, I guess it's a big thing, but the girls are excited. So we've got those expensive. We've got some major yard work we're gonna do to feather my nest, so to speak, make the outside world a bit better and inside. There's a couple of things Dave wants to do. He needs a new, for his, he does astrophotography. Just a couple pieces of equipment he needs to upgrade. So those kind of expenses, yard work, trip. I'm not doing Stitch North spring 2026, but I am really hoping, they haven't released it yet, the Shakespeare Peddler, Teresa Vanette. I really would like to do that. And that's where I get into trouble, because I'm in person and I see all the things and I want to stitch all the things. That's what happened with Jeanette Douglas. And I mean, Jeanette Douglas has quite the extensive catalog. I don't have everything Jeanette Douglas, but I did pick up a fair bit. So I'm going to focus, like it's the zombie apocalypse and I can't go anywhere, on what I have. That's just my sense of humor coming out. And that's my plans. So my next question is, do you want to see a WIP parade? I have 49 WIPs. And I doubt I'm going to finish anything between now and the new year, just because it's the month of December. There's lots going on. So there's that. So I'm going to wrap up this section of the floss tube with has to do with actual cross stitch. If you made it this far, thank you. I'm going to I got a couple books I want to talk about, 2 that I've completed and 1 that I am currently reading. So if you're not interested, I wish you well. I hope you have a fabulous holiday season, no matter how you celebrate it, and that you celebrate the things that mean so much to your heart and soul, and that you keep a little kindness in your heart, and that you have your heart overflows with kindness and gratitude, that in turn you spread out to the world around you and watch the ripple effect as it goes further and further away from you. And create a little magic every day with floss, needle to fabric. All right, let's get to the books. There's only 3, so it's not going to take long. So 1 is fiction, 2 are nonfiction. The fiction I'm still reading. I'm about, I would say, 3/4. It's by Patty Callahan Henry, The Secret Book of Flora Lee. And it's one of those books that flip-flops through 2 different times. So it's sisters Hazel and Flora. It's World War II. They're living in the city of London, England, and they're evacuated to the country. And Flora vanishes. And then, so chapter it flip-flops, and then now we're back into, I believe it's 1960, starts in 1940, and then 1960, 1939, 1940, to then 1960 is where it goes, where Flores disappears during World War II while they are evacuated to another home in the country. And then you flash forward to 1960, and Hazel, who feels very guilty because she's the older sister and her little sister disappears, she's now living in London again, and she works in a bookstore, and a book comes across called Whisperwood and the River of Stars, and it's about the fairy tale that she used to tell her sister, and she never told anybody else but her sister. And all of a sudden this book from America shows up, and it's the story, the exact story that she used to tell her little sister to help soothe her during the horrors of World War II. And so begins the search of, is my sister still alive? How does this person know our story? So it's been actually pretty good. Like I said, about 2/3, 3/4 of the way through. The next 2 were ones that I actually finished. This book, they're both nonfiction, historical. The first one is Republic, Britain's Revolutionary Decade, 1649 to 1660. My daughter Laura bought this for me for Christmas last year. Alice Hunt is the author, and she bought it in Oxford at the Ashmolean Museum, I believe, bookstore. Alice Hunt is a professor of early modern literature and history at the University of Southampton. So I first learned about the British Civil War years ago. I was fascinated by it. I was like, wow, Charles I got executed and he got beheaded. And then Cromwell and the parliamentarians ruled for a while, and then eventually that didn't work out because they were a little bit religious intolerant. They were very deeply religious in a puritanical sense with the Calvinist beliefs, and yeah, it just didn't work out. And then Charles II becomes king, which was Charles I's son, and then England has a monarch after 10 years. They have monarchy again, but in a different form than before. Little tweaks and changes, but you know, learned about Cromwell. Didn't know much about it, right? Because they didn't really talk about it in our history classes in high school. So this is that time period where Cromwell and the parliamentarians are ruling. And there was chaos, but there was also changes for good and some not for good. When we were in Scotland in 2022 and then in England in 2024, I learned a little bit more about Oliver Cromwell and his army and some of the atrocities they committed during the British Civil War. And it kind of reminds me of the French Revolution, where Charles I got beheaded, Charles II is in exile overseas, and they're doing the Republic, and they got rid of monarchy, but they didn't. They traded one king for another. And Cromwell was that other. And they started calling him Lord Protector and all that. And his troops did destroy, like, Edinburgh Castle. If you ever go to Edinburgh Castle, you hear how certain areas Cromwell and his army trashed the parts of the castle, and they had to restore them, renovate them, not with the original pieces because they got destroyed. I think there was one of the great halls ended up being a stable. Anyways, fascinating. It goes through it all. Cromwell eventually passes away, and his son, again, see, hereditary. So then his son inherits his title, and the son did not have the same respect as Cromwell did. And Cromwell's name, Oliver Cromwell, was not originally called Oliver Cromwell. What was he born? He was born with a different name. Oh no, he was a Cromwell. That's right, it was his father. Sorry, I had to look this up. His father was Robert Williams, but he took the name Cromwell from hundreds, remember the Cromwell that got killed in the church in the history? So that's what it is, yes. So anyways, fascinating read. And you learn about that time period, right? What happened, changes, not so good, some that's so good. Was it Cromwell, at least he allowed the Jews back in, whereas before they were kicked out of England. Anti-Semitism has been alive and well for so long in Europe. It's interesting. But yeah, again, interesting book. The second one that I finished, and I absolutely love this one, The Notebook, A History of Thinking on Paper. And this is by Roland Allen. So it takes you through the history of notebooks and how it changed things in terms of society as a whole. And now, we have Flosstube channels that dedicate to journaling and daytimers, right? So he starts off with notebooks, 1000 to 1200 BCE to 1000 BCE in the Mediterranean. That's what he's looking at, where they found, it was called the Ulu Burin, which was discovered, when was it? From a shipwreck that went down in 1305 BCE. And they discovered 506 hefty copper ingots from Cyprus, a ton of tin from Sardinia, amber beads from the Baltic, jars filled with beads, olives and orpiment, tortoiseshells, ebony logs, elephant ivory, hippopotamus teeth, 37 pieces of gold, arrowheads, spearheads, daggers and maces, almonds, figs, cumin and sumac, and so on. And there was a tablet. And it was a tablet that was wax that you could melt, but whoever used it to log what was on the ship. And because it was made, what was it made out of? Small wooden ivory item, a hinged writing tablet, which sits in the palm of your hand. So it's not even that big. The tablet was pieced together from many broken parts, but the restorers did an excellent job. It was carried off to the seabed of Ulu Burin, a sharp headland on Turkey's rocky southern coast. Recesses were cut into 2 boxwood leaves, and these were filled with layers of soft beeswax, in which the owner could write with a stylus. So it was a notebook, and because of the material it was made, it survived being in the ocean, the sea, the Mediterranean Sea. And then he takes it through to Florence, and then how when we went from papyrus to paper, because papyrus is very difficult to make and takes a long time, and it's hard to come by, but as soon as paper was discovered, then pretty much everybody that had the means. So he talks about some, you know, it's just a history of notebooks. People like sailors documenting their trips. Florentine contemporaries had what was called a zibaldone, which was a type of notebook, right? And then you started getting authors like Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, right? Right through to today, you've got your Moleskines, putting thoughts to paper. He talks about Da Vinci's notebooks. I remember seeing one. What museum were we in? I think it was the Albert and Victoria Museum in London. They have one. So Da Vinci took a bajillion notebooks. Unfortunately, many did not survive. It went to, when he died, it went to one of his assistants who kept them in his attic, but then he died and the son of the assistant didn't see any value in it. Anyway, so they got kind of dispersed, and there was never, so Da Vinci had quite the mind. And then, what else? So it's quite fascinating. Climate logs from the 1850s to present, which show, yes, climate change is a real thing. Even from, they did notice it then, because it hadn't really kicked in till the 1900s, especially with the after post World War II, with all the things we do with our environment. But they can see, because they kept weather data. So the notebooks to today, artists keeping notebooks, and then even himself keeping notebooks. It's just fascinating. If you love notebooks, he writes in a very easily readable, enjoyable way. So highly, highly recommend that. Anyways, that is it. I think I have rambled long enough. I really need to get going. I have some editing to do. I have some work to do. What time is it? 4:30. I really gotta get to work. All right. Thank you for watching. Take care. I hope you have an enjoyable holiday, and thank you for sticking with me for the book review. Take care.